Hello and welcome to the Success Showcase. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin from the Modern Observer Group. And with me, as always, is Chip Janiszewski from the Happiness and Success GPS. Chip, Happy New Year. How are you doing?
Doing great. Happy new decade to you too.
Yes, we're starting out a brand new year, brand new decade. And that leads us right into our topic because what better time to give yourself a fresh start? And that's what we're going to talk about different ways you can do that, how you can figure out exactly where it is you want to go and figure out better ways to get there. I saw a great meme on social media. It says 2020 is going to be exactly the same as 2019 if you do all the same things and don't make a change. And
Yeah,
it's
trying the same thing, trying to do something the same way and expect things to change. Exactly. I mean, that's,
exactly. Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
yep. The only thing that changes is the level of pain.
Right. So we're talking about a fresh start. And what does that mean? Does that mean changing your goals? Does that mean changing your approach to your goals? And only you can really answer that question because what a fresh start means to each person is unique to that person. It's the same thing as trying to define success. Only you really know what success means to you. So only you really know what a fresh start means to you. So the first step is actually figuring that out. Are you trying to still accomplish a goal that you haven't accomplished yet? Are you looking at creating new goals? Your first step in getting a fresh start is figuring out where it is you're going with that fresh start.
Yeah. And we've talked a lot in the past about strategic planning, both for business, obviously, but personal strategic planning too. And what your personal strategic plan is basically laying out goals for every facet of your life, not just business, but family, spiritual, physical, those different things. And the more that you can lay these things out and write them down and then set them up as SMART goals so that you can start attacking them, that's a great way to do things. But as always, if you can start out with a written list and then prioritize them and work SMART goals, which means you have to have a deadline on every single one, that's a great way to start that. And again, look at every different facet of your life. I went online and there's a whole bunch of different lists as far as different types of things for business and personal and so on and so forth. But um, I found a quick one that said 7 ways to make a healthy, fresh start. And this is more personal, but it says make a priority of maintaining your health, developing an attitude of gratitude, committing to becoming more physically fit, resolving to make quality sleep a priority, working on your social relationships, brightening somebody else's life, making learning a lifelong habit. Now, those are all different things where even one of them is a great start to the year, but these are different things to kind of pique your interest. And if you are sitting out there saying, where do I start? It's not a bad idea to just go online, just Google fresh start and see what comes up because that'll pique your interest.
Yeah, that's a great place to start figuring out what it means to you. And it's also, if you're giving yourself a fresh start, something you can do is go over your existing goals. Hopefully, you've already created some for 2019 or possibly even older than that. Take a good look at them. People change, situations change. Are these goals still applicable to you? If they're not, get rid of them. You don't have to stick to it just because you made it a year ago or 2 years ago. You've changed. Your goals should change along with you. So if there's something that's been on your to do list for a year and you still haven't gotten to it, it's probably not that important to you. Take it off the list. Don't bring all of that new baggage into the new year or old baggage into the new year, excuse me.
Yeah, obviously getting organized is a big part of it. So, I mean, there's long lists out there, but certain points like cleaning up your workspace, starting the year with a clean desktop, starting the year with a clean desktop on your computer too, instead of having a zillion different things on there. That was one of the things that's recommended. If your desktop has become a catch-all for all your documents, photos, screenshots, PDFs, and downloads, it's time to clean it up and embrace a folder system. And so having an organizer like you have done yourself as far as what you share with people is really, really important. But it's a great time to clean up your inbox and clean up your phone and so on and so forth and make a fresh start as far as that goes. But again, the most important thing is to have those goals in the first place and to start a list so you can start working on them.
Yes, and one of the keys to really making it a fresh start is when you're getting yourself organized. It's not just about getting organized, it's about getting rid of things, getting rid of that old baggage, not just old goals, but useless files that are cluttering up your desk, cluttering up your computer, checklists from projects that you finished, 6 months ago. Find a way to get all of this away from your day to day. If it's paper and it's something you need, find a filing cabinet, put it away, move that filing cabinet away from your desk. Your desk, your computer, your phone, tablet, whatever it is you're using as a primary organization tool should be focused on things you need now, not stacks and stacks of things that you needed 6 months ago, you needed a year ago, you used it, and now you're done with it. Get it out of the way. Clear your mind, clear your desk, start over.
Yeah, it's a really, really good idea to get into a habit of doing that too, instead of saying, okay, it's the first of the year, I'm going to do that right now. But I would say at least weekly, it's really, really important to do a purge and deletions and so on and so forth of everything that is unimportant. And I know we've talked about being organized in the past. And if you do have the folders for things that are current, and then maybe you're going to look at periodically, if that folder's been there for too long, it's time to throw it out. It's just taking up space and it's wasting your time. One of the things that you can do is take a look, keep a log of what you're doing on a daily basis for a week. And then at the end of the week, look at how much time is productive time, how much time you've wasted, and put a dollar and cents figure on that. Well, what if I had been more organized doing these kind of things? If you have it in front of you, uh, it will really, really tell you a story very, very quickly. And a great way to do this is just to write it down, then put it on a spreadsheet and add up all the times, sort them out by productive, non-productive, this and that. And that'll tell you where you're at. And from that, you can set goals saying, I'm going to increase the productive time by X%. But that's a great place to start is a self-analysis.
Absolutely. Once you know what's going on, then you can make changes. And change is really what a fresh start is about because you don't want to be doing the same thing again and again and not getting the results you want. And part of being able to change is figuring out how, what else has changed. So in business, if you're using social media to promote yourself, well, social media has changed a lot. Have you changed what you're doing? Are you still using an old website that you haven't updated in years? All of these things need to be updated and kept up to date. And now's a good time to take a look at them and go, oh, I haven't updated my website in 3 years. I should really do something about that. I haven't been posting on social media. I should post something. Or I'm posting the same sort of thing time and time again. I'm not really getting the results I want. Let me see how I can change that. And there's a lot of little things. It's a good time because there are tons of articles that come out at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, that say, well, what's different in 2020? Things you need to know for 2020. Take a look at these articles because these folks have actually done the research. They know what the trends are. And these articles are a great place for you to start to figure out how you can make the changes.
Yeah, once you have a list of the changes that you want to make, The beginning of the year is a really, really good time of year to take a look at your network, all of the contacts that you have, people that you haven't talked to for a while, and so on and so forth. And a great way to attack the new year is once you've identified the things that you want to change about yourself and your business. Some of these things you're going to need help doing, and it's a great time of year to give your business a lift just by developing new relationships or going to people to get help in the different areas, collaborating with people to help each other out. Um, so it's really a great time to just go back and see who you know, who the resources are after you get organized so that you can accomplish things in the most efficient way uh, possible.
And if there are people in your business and personal networks that you haven't been in touch with in a while, the new year is a great excuse to reach out to them. Wish them a happy new year. Say hello, see what they're up to, and renew those connections. It's kind of awkward when you haven't heard from somebody in a while to just reach out. And that's the primary reason most people keep putting that off. But just saying Happy New Year gives you the excuse to open up the dialogue again. Say hello, find out what they're doing, tell them what's new with you, and reconnect and strengthen those relationships.
No, and if these are people that you are close with and have had good relationships with in the past, they're very much going to appreciate it. And one great way to approach it, just as you said, is you can say, "Hey, look, I am starting the new year, and one of my resolutions is to get in touch with people that I haven't been in touch with for a long time. So you're on my list, and I mean, have fun with it. You can say, congratulations, you made my list this year, or this or that, whatever. That will immediately lighten things up, take away anything awkward that might be there, and so on and so forth. Think about a fun approach, person by person, and just go out there and do it.
Exactly. You know, and that's what you just said is very important. It's just go out there and do it. So many things get, well, it's a little awkward. I'm going to put it off. I'm going to put it off. And the more you put it off, the worse the situation gets. Just go out and do it. Touch base with people. Make the plan. Follow through with the plan, but just do it.
Yeah, one of the points, goal setting and then goal planning. Setting it is one thing, but planning is actually the plan of action to implement that and do it. Those are the best two words to use. Just go out and do it.
Right. Having goals is great. Making a plan to achieve them is even better. Actually doing it is the best because you can plan yourself into paralyzation. You don't want to analyze yourself to death. Make the plan and move forward.
Absolutely. And one of the best things to do too when you're starting the year, if you're take a look in the mirror, how are you feeling about different things about yourself, about how you're doing with uh, life in general, work, relationships. It's a great time of the year to make a commitment to reset your mindset. We talk about this all the time, but if you can reset your mindset to positivity, which is your choice, uh, it's a great, great time of year to commit yourself to this. And basically, a couple of great ways to do that: start a gratitude journal, feel gratitude every day and write it down. Uh, Affirmations are wonderful, but there's a whole lot of different ways that you can do that. And remember, happiness is a choice, and you know that you're going to have your ups and downs. But if you really look at it, the ups are a whole lot higher than the downs are lower. And it's if you take a look and write down things in your gratitude journal, you're going to totally understand that. Write down a gratitude journal, then write down everything you think is wrong with the world, and try to add to that every day. You're going to see that the things on the wrong thing have nothing to do with you and it has to do with others going on around you. And the gratitude journal is something that you're truly grateful for and other people are too. So if you can put positivity into this and realize that that person in the mirror, you, are worth the effort to do that and pat yourself on the back for your achievements instead of saying, I'm not worthy. It's so important to get that mindset going. And this is a great way to reach out to people at the beginning of the year too. Saying, look, we haven't talked in a long time. I always have a great time talking with you, and I hope you're doing well, and so on and so forth. That first of the year call is a great way to pump each other up and get the new year started on the right foot.
Certainly is. And as important as it is to get that positive mindset, one of the factors in that that most people tend to leave out is you need to make sure you have time to relax. And that acknowledging that and planning for that changes some things. Like when I was looking at what I wanted to do for 2020, one of the things that I thought would be a great goal for me was I wanted to read 52 books over the course of the year, one a week. I changed that and lowered the number. I changed it to 45. Why did I change it from 52 to 45? Because I realized a book a week I could do if I'm reading business books, that's great. But if I want to include some novels in there and actually take time for myself to read something that's relaxing and enjoyable, novels tend to be almost twice as long as business books do. So I'm going to need to allot that time. So I changed it to 45 books for the year so that I could put in some of these longer novels that I would like to read and have the time to do it right. But you need to allot that time. Um, when Chip earlier mentioned 7 things, one of the things he mentioned was getting enough sleep. And getting sleep and relaxation, so many of us have the mindset, well, I'll rest when I'm dead. Let me just get things done. It's a sure ticket to burnout. And you want to make sure that if you're really going to accomplish important things, things that are important to you, things that are important to others, you need to be refreshed, you need to be healthy, and you need to be rested because sleep has been shown to fight off Alzheimer's and dementia in the long term. It's been shown to give yourself a good reset in the short term. It's so important, and yet so many people ignore it.
Yeah, and one of the things that you were just mentioning, as far as your reading 45 books for the year, uh, what that leads me to think about is having a all-inclusive calendar. A lot of people, business people, just have their appointments in there for businesses. But if you plan ahead of time, part of your total personal package, plan that vacation ahead of time, plan family time, plan date night for the week, plan reading time 30 minutes a day or however you're going to do that. I mean, if you want to accomplish reading 45 books a year, you have to set aside X amount of time every day to do that kind.
Yep.
And if you can put into your daily planner, setting that time to do that every single day and probably doing that at the same time every day based upon when you're most awake and that kind of thing, the more you work on it up front, the more efficient you're going to be. We talked again about analyzing what you're doing for the next week or two and just writing down what's going on, and you'll see all the wasted time that you have. Whereas if you have this put into a calendar, that's the way to change that in a hurry. But positive anticipation is one of the neatest things that you can have. I mean, if you're looking forward to that vacation coming up in 6 months, or just getting out together with your wife and going out to dinner next Friday night, it really, really gives you a lift in everything else that you're doing. And it's one of the best ways for you to stay positive.
Absolutely. And a while back, we did a show talking about how you could use business tools to organize your personal life. And it's so important to do that because when we're looking at our business life, we schedule things, we have planners, we have project managers, all these tools. And we tend to forget about that when it comes to our personal life. And in fact, there's this great commercial for a financial system, a work financial system, where these business people are sitting there and they make comments like, when I'm not around, everybody raids the piggy bank. I don't even know how we make it month to month. And you think they're talking about business, and then it goes, fortunately, I never have these problems at work. Well, the reason they don't have these problems at work is because they're using a system to track everything. Use those same types of systems to track your personal life. You wouldn't run a business without a budget. Why are you trying to run your personal life without one? Plan your personal life. Make time for family, friends, hobbies, reading, movies, whatever it is. But make sure you've got that time set aside so that you can actually get to it.
Yeah, and list and celebrate your accomplishments. I mean, I think it's a great idea for you right now to go over. You've developed an organizer to not only put down your appointments, but actually things that you're checking on every day and tracking and so on. So, if you give the people out there some of the highlights of things that they just incorporated this into their daily lives as far as tracking things and planning things, help out. Because your organizer is unique compared to a whole lot of other calendars out there.
Yes, we created a coaching organizer for our clients. And a few years ago, we actually made it available to the public. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Most bookstores can order it. But the Biznetics Daily Planner, it has a 24-hour calendar so you can schedule everything in your day. It has a part of the daily calendar to write what you're grateful for. So, your gratitude journal that we talked about earlier. It has a to do list for the projects that you're trying to track. But two of the most important things are very simple analysis trackers. When you write down your schedule, on each line of the calendar, there are two icons. There's a circle and there's a lightning bolt. The circle is for you to track your productivity. If what you're doing at that moment is absolutely necessary to accomplishing one of your goals, fill the circle in. If it's something that it's sort of necessary but not right on task, maybe something administrative that has to be done, but you fill in half the circle. If it's something that you're scrolling through Facebook, or you're looking at cats on YouTube, you leave the circle empty. Doing this over time, you see how much time you're wasting, how much time you're actually productive, and it gives you a good idea of what's going on during your day in terms of how you're wasting and spending time. The lightning bolt is meant to track your energy level. There is a great myth amongst productivity coaches that you have to get up early in the morning, 4 a.m., you hit the ground running, and you get your most important thing done first thing, so everything else is easier. And this only works for a small percentage of people. Everybody has a different way that their body works, and you need to schedule your day the way your body works. So what these lightning bolts are is you track your energy. If you're at full energy, you're really going, circle the lightning bolt. If you're average, you put a line through the lightning bolt. If you're dead tired, if you're just not cross that lightning bolt out. By doing this over time, you'll see how your energy flows. Now, I know full well if I get up at 4 a.m., most of my day is right there wasted because I'm tired. I'm not functioning well that early in the morning. Nothing's going to get done. However, if I stay up until midnight, 1 a.m., I'm getting a lot more done in the evening and at night than I ever would in the morning because that's how my body works. So the Biznetics Daily Planner has all of this in one place. Um, Places to put daily goals, overall goals, and this way it ties it all together so that you're tracking not just your business life, but your personal life. And you're looking at yourself as a whole person, not a business person or, husband or a wife or any part of you, but you're looking at the whole thing. So that you can get that on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or from this description, you can actually just write it down on a piece of paper yourself, as long as you're following all of it.
It's a great, great tool.
Thank you. Yeah, we've had some great success with it. Our clients love it. because again, it takes everything into consideration. It's about being a whole person, not just part of what you are. And that's really what causes a lot of problems when you're setting goals, when you're trying to do things, because you set goals as a business person and you go, oh, okay, this is reasonable. I can accomplish all of that. But then you've got all the stuff from it at home and you schedule all the things you want to do at home. Go, okay, that's reasonable. I can do all of that. But if you don't look at those two lists together, when you put them together, you usually realize, wait a minute, there's no way I can do all of that all at once. There's not enough hours in the day. So you have to look at the whole picture.
Yeah, a single source for getting organized is fantastic to have, and that's why I wanted you to talk more about that today, because that really is, talk about a fresh start. If you have that tool in front of you where organize yourself as far as what your goals are and so on and so forth. But then every single day you have that tracking mechanism right there and it's in front of you the whole time. Why reinvent the wheel? You mentioned the different components of that, and if people just wanted to write those down, that's great. But it's also important to really have a tool to help you track yourselves, because our minds are one thing, but a piece of paper with words in front of it is a whole lot easier for you.
Yes, it is. And the most important part of having a tool, whether it's a planner, a spreadsheet, or whatever it is the fact that you can look back on it. A gratitude journal is great when you write down, what you're grateful for that day or what you accomplished that day. But it really comes into value when you're not feeling it, when you're a little down, when you're overwhelmed, and you can go back over it and go, oh my God, look at everything I accomplished. Hey, I've really got things going. And
Yeah.
it helps you, boosts your morale and helps keep a positive mindset.
Right. I mean, the next time you're down on yourself, you go look at that. And I know I've gone over this before, but I started doing my gratitude journal, I think in 2014 or 15. And mine is a spreadsheet. So there's a row for every single day of the year. And all I do is I put down January 1st in the first thing, and I go all the way down to December 31st. And every day I make it a point to just write something next to that, as far as mostly it's different things that I've done during the day. And being really, really flaky like I am, it wasn't until about 6 months ago that I said, why don't I just go back? I have all these things here because I got a worksheet for every single year in the workbook, and analyze what's gone on in past years. And now I do that every single day. So I can go back for the last 6, 7 years and look at all the cool stuff that was going on and what's going on now. And it's really, really fantastic. I look at my wife and say, hey, do you realize that 4 or 5 years ago we did this and so on and so forth? Just start it today and go back and read it every day. And as it builds up, it's a wonderful tool to just bring back the power of positivity in your life and the other people that you're around, just by sharing things like that.
Absolutely. Most people get so bogged down in the day to day, they don't realize how much they've actually accomplished. And having a way to look back and go, oh my God, look how much I've changed. Look how much I've grown. Look how much more I've accomplished. It's a great way to boost your mindset, give yourself forward momentum, and help not just give yourself a fresh start at the beginning of the year, but periodically, a great way for you to move forward. So we're just about at the end of our time. Chip, what do you think is a big takeaway for our audience today?
Do we have another half an hour? I'm just kidding. Basically, it's putting down your personal strategic plan on paper in the first place, getting yourself organized to start the year, getting everything cleaned up so you have a fresh start, setting those goals to get things done. And very, very important, like we just talked about, is to have a way to track things and keep yourself on focus. So your Business Daily Planner is one great tool to do that. But again, if not, you just have all the different things that you need to track in one place so that you can do that. And most importantly, just take a look in the mirror and realize that that person, you, has got a lot going on for yourself. And again, if you want to get back to things, do your gratitude journal and that kind of thing to reinforce it. But the bottom line is, clean slate for everybody right now. Tomorrow's a new day too. So if you want to start on January 7th, that's fine. But Just get out there and do it and have a wonderful 2020.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway for me is that a fresh start means just that. Don't bring your old baggage into the new year. Give yourself a break. Don't drag it with you. If something didn't work out, fine, let it go, take your fresh start, and move forward. The more you move forward, the better off you'll be. And it's harder to move forward if you're dragging everything along with you. So again, give yourself a break. Look at the life you want, plan it out, and move towards it. You've been listening to the Success Showcase. You can catch us every week at xvadio.com/podcasts. You can find us at the Apple Podcasts app, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you find podcasts. Remember, make this your best week ever and make next week even better. See you then.